Today's game will be one that will tickle the nostalgia bone for a lot of you, since we're taking a look at EX-Zodiac, a spiritual successor to the classic on-rails shooters like Starfox and Panzer Dragoon. And it generally does quite well despite still being at the point of early access. Obviously, as you can tell by the background footage, the gameplay is extremely loyal to its inspiration, at least on the standard flying levels, with the multi-targeting of Panzer Dragoon and the level design that is very much Star Fox inspired. The controls are straightforward, though not necessarily the best explained, which is something that could be solved before release with a small flying tutorial level. As it stands though, you have 6 levels to learn it, though there will be quite a few more in the final game with alternate paths, additional bosses, and even bonus levels, which I'm looking forward to trying out. I think the only major thing I would really change about it would be to take advantage of the fact that modern controllers usually have 2 joysticks. As it stands, you both aim and move using the left joystick, which makes it more reminiscent of the D-pad for Star Fox. For me personally, I would say switching to using the right stick for aiming and the left stick for movement would improve the responsiveness of the controls significantly, and greatly improve a few quality of life issues that I was having where it almost felt sluggish, especially as I was approaching the edge of the screen. But this is the nature of that kind of control setup. Now, with just 6 levels in the early access, I could dive through and critique each one to pad out the video, but for the most part, I think it would be more beneficial to point out the 2 issues I ran into and just say the rest ranged from good to great, because they did. Basically, if you enjoyed the original Star Fox levels, you'll enjoy these. That said, the first issue I had was the asteroid boss. Unfortunately, he breaks one of the rules of fun boss fights in this type of game. As a rotating boss, he will often incidentally hide a weak point behind him, resulting in a lot of waiting around for the correct side to face you, where most of the other bosses will have a timer for actions, so you'll at least get a reliable chance to fight back at given intervals. His design prevents this. I was eventually able to beat him, but it did result in a significant slowdown of the pace for me, which is not what you want in this type of game. As far as the other issue, it was in the 6th stage, in which I presume is a bug. It would start me over at the beginning of the level each time I died, which isn't what it does in the rest of the levels, so I presume that was a bug. And I also ran into an issue with the boss where he got stuck in a charge attack and I simply could not escape him stomping me, though on subsequent playthroughs everything went fine with the actual gameplay and I was able to beat him pretty easily. Sound-wise, you will get serious Super Nintendo vibes from it. It's poppy, fast, and really solid arcade music to go with your flights. Needless to say, I enjoyed it a lot, and it fits the theme super well. And short of a small audio bug involving the tunnel in stage 6, where it ramped up the volume randomly, the audio balance was great too in most of the game, with explosions and shots feeling satisfying in that arcadey way, and the music keeping perfect tempo with the battles. Unfortunately, despite the glowing praise of the actual meat and potatoes of the game, as you may have guessed, there is something missing. And you may already know what that is if you watch the playthrough over on the Let's Play channel. And that is, there really is not much of a story as of yet. I could see them working a lot of story into the level transitions and having it work fine, though only time will tell if they do that. And as it stands, the only story you get is distracted snippets during the level, which, let's be honest, I don't have the focus to read while dogfighting with floating heads and turrets trying to blow me out of the sky. So all I know is that we're fighting against Zodiac. Overall, I enjoyed my time with the game, with early access version that had 6 stages in it, taking me about an hour and a half to beat, and I wager on a second playthrough I could beat it under 45 minutes. So while it may not have a lot of raw playtime, it is a relaxing nod back to the classics of the genre, and will be really fun to go through to try to 100% or speedrun for sure. That said, if you want to try another enjoyable but short game, check out the video on screen now, and as always, a special thanks to the channel members, patrons, and subscribers for making this content possible.